steel-based life form. But he provided at least a huge amount of entertainment when she brought him along for the family Christmas. And he was an interesting character. He was someone who'd done all manner of jobs. He'd been a tattooist, he'd been a piercer, he'd done work behind the bar and stuff like that. And of course, she'd introduce him to parents, and they'd have a lovely conversation. I say conversation, I'm using the word conversation quite wrongly here, because he communicated more in the sort of grunts and trolled around and things along these lines. But he provides an immense amount of entertainment there, sitting over Christmas dinner, huge family Christmas dinner. And my cousin, she's looking at him, and I know him from somewhere, I know him from somewhere. And suddenly it occurs to her, oh, you're the guy who pierced my clitoris 4 years ago! Oh, the air went absolutely quiet. Granny had passed out into her bowl of soup. So there was the nudging away. And then, of course, there was Adrian. She went from one scale to the other. Adrian, of course, was very much an upper-class kind of gentleman, who she must have found rambling around in some sort of field, wondering exactly where he was. And like most upper-class people, they are approximately 90% teeth. So she went from the steel-based knife to the man who was basically entirely made out of tooth enamel. He was a delight. But that's quite enough about my family history. I'm going to introduce our first act for this evening. Now, our first act is our hostess herself. Would you please welcome the lovely Sabrina Rahman.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, I'm not a TV. It was fun. We've got a lovely compact group tonight. And to get us going, compact. I thought that's a good word. Compact, it is. Yes. I'd like for you to each turn to each other and introduce yourself to the person either side of you. And you can either choose fist bump or high five. Alright. Fist bump or high five. Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting. Very polite. The topic for today is monsters and aliens. And I don't know what you were expecting, but I know that when people normally think of monsters and aliens, they normally think of something like Predator or Ood. The Ood from Doctor Who. Like, yeah. You're missing out. Yes. Or little alien guy from anybody?
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Well done. Men in Black. But since I was very little, I've always been fascinated by weird creatures, oddities, creatures of the deep, and especially deep sea creatures. The weirder, the stranger, the more I like them. The oceans are one of the least explored areas of the planet. We actually know more about outer space than we do about our oceans. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do about our floor ocean surface. So I'm going to talk to you about a few of my favourite creatures that I've come across in my time. And we're going to start with the hagfish. Yeah, it's better than this. Yeah. It's a type of eel, in fact. Good whispering. And yeah, here's another picture. More delightful one there. That's the face. That's the front part. No, this is in fact the face. And there are 77 different species of hagfish, and it's actually known as the slimefish. And hagfish are really interesting because they have a skull but no vertebra. One of the very few creatures that are like this, and they're actually a living fossil. So the hagfish that we have nowadays are very similar to the ones that were around 300 million years ago. So these inhabit deep sea, and they're found all over the world in warm and temperate temperatures. And these are really the scavengers of the ocean, and they like eating small fish and either dead or dying animals. And one of the things that they like to do is they like to bury inside a dead animal through their mouth, their gills, or the other side as well. And they use their scaly tongue to scrape off the flesh and devour it inside out until there's until there's just a sack of skin and some bones left. So if you haven't eaten already, I hope I haven't put you off. Yuki, can you?
Yes.
So one of the things that it's best known for is its protective mechanism, which is to produce slime when it's attacked. Let me show you. So it actually has 200 pores on either side of its body, and pores. And from these pores, it releases a protein that expands in water and produces this jelly-like slime. And a small hagfish, that's 50 centimeters long, is capable of producing enough slime to fill an 8-liter bucket. So, and one of the really fascinating things about this creature is when it gets injured, when it's attacked, it doesn't bleed, and these wounds don't get infected. So scientists at the moment are researching what it is about its slime that it produces that's able to prevent infection, and they're hoping that the uses they'll be able to use what they learned from the slime to have anti-bacterial creams and products that will prevent infection in humans. The next creature that I've been really fascinated by is this guy.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Too cute. And aside from being absolutely adorable, this guy is called the axolotl. And it's a kind of salamander, and it's from central Mexico. And it's actually, its name means water monster, very fitting for tonight. And it too is known for its healing ability. And like other salamanders, when they're attacked, they're able to regenerate themselves without scarring. And even when a limb is cut off, they're able to regenerate it completely. And some are even known to, say a limb was injured, they would repair itself, and sometimes they produce an extra limb as well. So you might have, just in case, a spare one. Yeah, very. Although when they've lost a limb and they regenerate, their regeneration capabilities are lessened. So it's kind of like Doctor Who, where he runs out of lives, except they're going to find a loophole, right? Yes. So
50 years.
Yes, exactly. And my final and favourite creature is the blobfish. Ooh! Look at that face. Yeah, I know. That's one handsome looking guy, isn't he? Yeah. So the blobfish is also a deep sea fish, and it's found off the coast of Australia and Tasmania. And they are about a foot long, and they can withstand pressure of up to 30 times that at sea level. They live just off the ocean floor, about 2,000 feet below sea level. And as you can tell, it doesn't have very much muscle mass or bone mass. It's mainly made out of a jelly-like material, which is slightly less dense than water. So unlike most fish that use air for buoyancy, this fish is slightly less dense than water, so it just floats off the ocean floor. And it also is a scavenger, so it pretty much eats whatever floats in front of its face. That's how it finds its food. earlier this year in September was voted the world's ugliest animal. Yeah, I know. They're what? And it was adopted as a mascot by the Ugly Animal Preservation Society. And this society wants to raise the profile of the animals in the world that have not been gifted in the area of looks by Mother Nature. And the reason why this is one of my favorite creatures is because it lives in really harsh conditions, 2,000 feet below the surface of the sea. There's no light, incredible pressures, not very much for it to eat, and it's stoic, you know? Stoic, doesn't have much in the way of looks, and you know what? Who can't love a face like this? No. Just me then, just me. So these are a few of my favourite creatures, and I know when you came to a night about monsters and aliens, you might have been expecting some gore, but I don't know if you guys can handle some gore. What do you reckon? Yeah? I'll only do it if you're interested, so you'll have to say yes or no. If you cheer for it, yeah, yeah. Right, no, a bit louder.
You guys can watch it, but you can't unwatch it.
So this whale was found in the Faroe Islands recently, and
Big screen up there.
Oh,
It's this big.
and you can't really get rid of whales in one piece. You have to break it up into pieces. Yes. You want to see that again?
Facebook, like,
Yeah, I know. This.
the guys. You didn't get anyone himself.
Did you know that was going to happen?
Yeah.
They thought that was pressure.
Yeah, and to make up for it, I thought in order to get some balance, I thought a few seconds of our other video, Yuki.
6 minutes.
Yeah. So just to balance it out, we'll have a bit of yeah, a few seconds of this. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a sloth yawning. I thought I can't leave you on a bad. Yeah, I know. Cute. No, but stop it. We'll be here all night. If you're good.
One more.
No. If you're good.
These would be cute.
If you're good, we'll play the rest of the cute animals during the break. So you want cute? See, no matter my kind. Yeah. So thank you very much for being here and for listening to me talk about my favourite weird animals. And next up, well, we've got Neil.
Sabrina Rama, ladies and gentlemen. There is something vaguely John Prescott. Have you got the axolotl picture as well? The axolotl?
Oh, wrong one.
The cute ones. I'm sure that if you flip it upside down, it becomes happy.
Does anyone remember Fraggle Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just me then. No.
That's
Well, next on up this evening, we have one of our geek grandmasters. Would you kindly welcome to the stage, Sook?
Hi guys, I'm going to give a talk, which I've given before, but I was asked last second to fill in for someone. My talk is called The Son of Moog. And I apologize, this is a Star Trek talk, so I apologize to any non-Trekkies. Basically, the Son of Moog is a wolf, so I should really talk about why this talk came about. It starts off with two conversations I had with Sabrina. The first conversation was literally, can you do a talk in an event I'm running called 50 Shades of Geek in a pub? I'm thinking, okay, it'll be 6 of Sabrina's mates, and I'll stand up and I'll just talk for 6 minutes. It turns out, when it came to do this talk the first time, it turns out she's like, there's going to be 30 people there, and everyone but you is going to be a professional comedian. I thought, crap. Second conversation is, she asked me who my favorite Star Trek character is. I put no thought into this, I just thought back for a second and said, Worf. And she nearly bit my head off. She went, Worf? Worf? Why Worf? He's like, just growls a lot and stuff kind of thing. So I just jumped into defensive mode straight away. I said, look, first of all, Worf is the only Star Trek character who has been in more than one Star Trek series. He went from Next Generation and he moved over to
DS9.
DS9, yes. Only character to ever have done so. But let me just start off by explaining why Sabrina felt that way. Because I've got a video clip of Worf. See, this is what people think of when they normally think of Worf. Yeah, they play.
Giờ thì quên vậy.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. Try again.
No, it is at the last one. Or I'll continue. Yeah. No,
Thanks for waiting.
Not approach me unannounced, especially when I'm eating. Perhaps today is a good day to die.
Beginning.
from the start, thank you.
I am Worf, son of Morg.
Thanks for waiting.
Do not approach me unannounced, especially when I'm eating. Perhaps today is a good day to die. What? I protest. I am not a merry man. I'm the only one, Worf. The only one who can prove your innocence. Kill me and you're a traitor forever. Then that is how it shall be.
Yeah, so when people normally think of Worf, that's the kind of stuff they think of. Which was true right in the beginning, because that's how they played the character. The character got things completely wrong all the time. His whole strategy was attack, his whole strategy was scream. But then, I looked deeper into this character after having this argument with Sabrina, and I really realized this character is quite a deep character. He was brought up in Russia by human parents, and he was a Klingon, which is kind of fitting because the Klingons, if you look back to the original series, they were like the Russians in the Cold War with the Federation. So they literally, along came peace with the Soviet Union, and then along came this character who was brought up by humans, and he had to get along. That basically led to the character having a lot of issues around not fitting in, things like that, and that is how they started off this character. But basically, he never gives up his values, this character. He always sticks to his Klingon roots, and he always tries to get on with everyone. He has some really hilarious moments. There's one point where he has to deliver a baby, which is Keiko Orion's baby, and she comes up to him and she's like, "Oh, my water just broke." And he's like, now is not an appropriate time to have your baby. You may have your baby tomorrow. Also, Wesley Crusher, he tried to explain Klingon mating to Wesley Crusher, and he said like the women would yell, throw objects, gnaw and scratch and bite. Wesley Crusher like, you bite the women? He goes, no, men never bite. He goes, well, what do the men do? Because they read love poetry. so a bit of a strange relationship there. But the thing is, I really got into Worf at a point when I first started watching The Next Generation and I was going through puberty. Worf is the perfect character if you're a guy going through puberty to look up to. He has the aggression, he has, you know, he just screams and shouts and he has all these feelings just pent up and he's got to be civilized. Relatable. The other thing is, Worf is blatantly a virgin. Because, you know, whenever they talk about him having a relationship, he goes, I would require a Klingon woman. And he never had one about. Until he met Kayla. Now, Kayla was the first woman to sleep with him when she was half Klingon. And then Worf got really needy after that because he basically wanted to get married to her. And he's like, marry me, it's the Klingon tradition. And she's like, no, I'm not ready for marriage. And he was like, but we have mated. And she has the most classic line ever, I know, I was there. So basically, things do get better for Worf, and he does have a relationship with women later on. But they really chose to develop this character further, because the thing I love about Worf, which makes you connect to him even more, is the fact that he reminds me a lot of my grandfather. Because he comes from a place where men didn't really show emotions. My grandfather, that is. And Worf is the same way. He is really, he sees it as weak, he sees it as sissy, and then suddenly he's become a single parent to a kid called Alexander. And that's when he left the softer side of him out while maintaining his dignity. And he's had a lot of tragedy, this character. Two of the women he's loved have died. His son abandoned him eventually. His Klingon honor was stripped from him, and that's like being excommunicated from the whole Klingon community. And eventually even his brother comes to him because of the shame of losing their family honor to ask him to help him commit suicide. To which Worf kind of tricks him into just wiping his memory. And one of the most saddest moments is when his brother wakes up with his memory wiped and he looks at Worf and he says, are we related? And Worf says, no, I have no family. And at that point, he had no family. So this guy's been through a lot of tragedy, and he's always, always followed his heart and done the right thing. And that's why Worf is my favorite character. Thank you very much.
Marvellous and heartfelt sook, ladies and gentlemen. Now, next on up, we have got a clash of the Titans. Every good evening should have a good contest. So we have got, as made by our good friend Sook here himself, a piñata, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, no party should be without a piñata. So how are we going to do this? Who is going to get to smack the piñata? Well, we're going to have to decide that by the wonderful competition that is rock, paper, scissors. And no matter how intense I try and make that sound, we are still doing rock, paper, scissors. So what we're going to do, and I'm probably going to need prompting on the rules here because my mind is going all fuzzy because of a haze of lack of sleep. Sabrina, remind me how we're going about this.
Okay, I want you to pair up with a person next to you, and you're going to play rock, paper, scissors, best of 3. And the person that wins, they stay standing, the other person sits down, and you become their supporter, whoever wins out of you two. You have to cheer them on when they play their next person. Then we continue until we have one final winner, the one winner to rule them all, and they get to hit the piñata in front of all of us. So, shall we just try it? Yeah?
Okay, all right.
Okay, so pair on up, ladies and gents.
Okay, just go to the person next to you.
If you lose the next
No. If you lose, you basically go behind the person who won, and you are cheering them from now on. So it ends up with 2 people
Do we have
and 50
the
people cheering.
Okay.
Come on here.
Okay.
Come on here. Don't be lazy.
Rock beats paper.
Ready?
You feel combative. Fair fight, Jez. Come on, Amos.
You guys got the winner?
You guys play it.
Round two?
Yeah.
Do we have another for you guys yet?
I explained in the room.
Okay, round two.
Okay, alright. What's all women are?
She just won.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you had something to talk about. No, it's best of three, but she's one up. So.
Oh, she's got it.
Yeah, she's a Karen. Yeah, it's best of three, yeah.
Heat drop.
Alright, Alright, last one.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. We've got great lines for that.
So who's the winner?
She's one.
Oh, you guys already did.
She's done it. So through the next round. Are you
You can do it.
No.
Woman from
We're in support now.
Yeah.
All three of us.
So, Alex,
You're coming, Alex. You're the man.
so we have two.
Come on, you're out.
Come on. I do that A.
You are the rock.
Come on,
Here we go.
This is master.
So who's next?
So we've got
They've only played one. Yeah.
Oh no, these guys.
Yeah, we already.
You guys have played 2 rounds, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right, so you
We
guys.
played 2 rounds.
2, 2, and 1 was odd then.
Yeah. All right.
So I'll do that.
Go, you guys. Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing. Whatever.
As before, best of 3.
You can be a professional.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think it's
been years
You play as well as a
Okay.
professional.
Alright, just so we're clear, because we're doing 1, 2, and then 3.
Third one.
Apparently, yes.
Okay, cool. Paolo was doing some weird thing behind his back. He was getting really fruity.
That's the North American
This is the
way.
first time I've never heard of this before. So
Okay.
I'm just
You've
like,
never heard of rock, paper, scissors?
That's it, you're clean.
Wait till you learn rock, paper, scissors,
Yeah.
so there's a spot. Yeah, look.
It's actually right.
You're star 3.
I am completely
Which
free
I
of
want to
back
do.
in
Which
my
one?
life
That was
today.
the
Right.
I was going to suggest
Come on
it.
then.
Come on, Alex.
Come on. Okay.
Come on, Alex.
Alex, she looks like she's going to go scissors. I swear to God.
Go away.
Alex, one more, Alex.
This is very
Oh, the rock smashing.
Yeah.
was
Because the
scissors.
first one you want.
Yeah, rock meets scissors, paper covers rock, and scissors cut paper.
Okay.
So Alex is one up on the moment.
This is mind games at the highest order.
Lizard poison spot.
Come on, Alex.
Oh, there!
Right. Final round.
Final round. Who's that?
Alex coming.
That's it, you
Alex
are.
is through.
Unfortunately, you lost it. Now we're all Alex's supporters now.
Okay, right.
Go on,
Come on,
Alex.
Alex.
You're alpha, baby, alpha.
Yeah.
In fact, you can't
We
lose
got the
today.
third, yeah?
Okay,
It's partly really big in the app. Would it be 1, 2, and
He's really on it like
No, I think I tried.
1, 2, 3.
Oh. Hey.
Alright, 1, 2, 3.
Oh. It's all of this.
Alright. 1, 2, 3.
Again.
I think it's going too quickly.
Yeah.
Between ourselves.
Let's take that. Yeah.
No, we'll just do it between ourselves. It's weird doing a countdown.
Congratulations.
You're the champion.
So you're the piñata. We'll get the piñata.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And we have a truly freakish piñata.
That's pretty cool.
What did you make that, Sabrina?
That's brilliant. Lovely handmade. Should we take a picture before?
Before the
yeah.
You're going to be blindfolded, spun around, and then you try to dash it.
Maybe someone should video.
Nice. It's a great piece of artwork. Let me take a picture before it's your face is smashed in.
Oh, is everything currently?
Yes, I mean, it's made a big
You take the meshes.
Yeah, he
So
might.
it's a side of you.
I've actually learned to do it just for this.
He might put it on his
Yeah,
Sorry.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Are you ready?
Oh, so you have to get out of the thing.
Yeah, that's pretty sure.
No, but people will be shouting left or right or whatnot.
Okay.
I've never stand at the last.
Okay, we can
We need to
Thank you, man. Give you the backs.
Don't swim before we go.
Oh, incidentally, guys.
Yeah, because there's some funny videos.
This is Frankenstein. I actually picked Frankenstein because it was the first ever science fiction book ever written. Yeah.
Really?
It was, yeah. Look it up.
Yeah, like
Okay, that sounds like
Okay.
Look
Look it up.
What's your reference?
Yeah, exactly.
I watched the documentary on QuickBooks and that was one of the
Bram
Stoke's
Don't
Okay,
swim before we tell
Bram
you.
Stoker's a horror movie, it's not science
Okay.
fiction. Whereas, as Frankenstein was
Yeah, that's okay.
Spin around. Faster.
You guys tell me when to stop.
Keep going. Faster. Faster spinning.
Come on.
We could just do this all night.
Yeah.
Equilibrium.
Okay, now put it.
Now she has to walk down the stairs.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Swing. Forward. No, step forward. Step forward. Left. Keep going forward.
Right, go horizontal.
No, left.
Behind you.
Left.
Stop!
Turn around. Keep turning. Left. Right, yes.
Yes, there you go. Right.
Down. Yay. Left. Yay.
There we go.
Yay. Oh.
So, are we supposed to break this?
Yeah.
It's not anywhere.
Nearly.
Left.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really
It's on the floor. Kick
Yeah, kick it. Left. Behind you.
There you go, yeah.
Yay.
That's easy.
Forward.
Yeah.
Forward. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody get her a Hoover.
Fantastic.
I hope you brought a Hoover.
Well,
All that's yours. You don't go away empty-handed. You don't go away empty-handed. We're going to take a bit of a break now, but before we go into the break for a bit of a to pop to the bar, we've got a question in true 50 Shades of Geek style. There is a packet of nerds riding on this for the best answer. If you could go on a date with one monster or alien, who would it be? So answers on the little scraps of paper that we've got at the front.
Or alien. Okay.
Oh, or alien.
Okay.
Choice is yours. We don't judge on your sexual preference of monster or alien. This is fine. So feel free to grab a drink from the bar and we'll catch you in about 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
By the way, help yourself to all the sweets, everyone. Their prizes first of all.
Yes, help yourself to sweet.
Sweet.